Hello everybody, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Sean Strickland just beat Magomedov in the UFC Fight Night main event, and it was a very impressive fight. I'm going to be talking a bit about the fight, a bit about what's to come, and a bit about why I'm glad Sean Strickland won the matchup. Starting off, the fight itself was a good fight. You know, Magomedov did look really good in the first round, and I was like, if Magomedov, if he does keep this pace up, Sean Strickland's going to get caught one of these moments. Like, there was a few moments the head kick landed. There was, I think his right hook of Abus nearly landed a few times. But as it got to the end of the first round, you could see Abus already starting to slow. He was already starting to slow as that first round came to an end. And then I sort of thought he'd come back out in the second and be like rejuvenated a bit, get some energy back, and then he'd slowly start to fade again, but he'd still have a decent round. But no, not at all. He fucking came out gassed. I don't know how you get gassed after one round. This is the biggest fight of your career and you come out gassed in the second round. I mean, he did have a mad output for the first round, but still, the middleweight division is fucking funny. Like, how all these unranked guys the unranked guys are like here, and then there's like this massive gap, and then there's the top 5, top 10. Like, it's just such a different gap. And it's funny how, like, someone, as people say, as bad as Sean Strickland KOs Abus in the second round, and then you see how he's done compared to like Jared Cannonier when he fought Jared Cannonier. When you compare that to his fight against Abus, like, it really shows the difference between a not ranked middleweight and a ranked middleweight. And it's a part of the fact why I'm glad Sean Strickland won, because I didn't think this was very fair that some non-ranked Russian fighter who's just made his debut in the UFC is getting number 7 ranked Sean Strickland. If Abus won that fight, I would have been so pissed off, because bro hasn't worked his way up. He just comes in versus Dustin Stoltzfus. I can't talk today for some reason. Versus Dustin Stoltzfus, gets the first round KO, and then gets bumped up to Sean Strickland, number 7. So I'm glad Sean Strickland sort of put him back down to the non-ranks, back down to his place where he belongs. That sounds bad, but he took him down a peg. He said, bro, this is where the top middleweights like myself and Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa and that belong. Like, you still got some room to grow. You still got a lot of shit you got to work on before you can come up to us. So I was glad Sean Strickland got the win, and he put a statement on it. Getting that second round TKO was a big statement, because when's the last time Sean Strickland TKO'd somebody? It's been, I don't even remember the last time he got TKO. He's hurt a few people here and there. He's had some close fights, but yeah, it really just showed that, you know, these non-ranked guys who look so good against other non-ranked guys, when they jump up to verse a guy like Sean Strickland, they're just not on the same level. Abus really needs to work on his cardio. Even not just his cardio, you could tell his confidence dropped off as soon as his cardio went. Well, you get some fighters who, you know, their cardio might drop off, but they're still there. Like a Duplessis, for instance, his cardio will drop off the side of a hill, but he'll still be there trying to charge on. Like, his spirit won't break. But Abus, it looked like he just wanted out as soon as his cardio went. He was like, this is fucked, bro, I can't do this shit anymore. What do I think should happen next with Sean Strickland? I think give him the title. And I know that's a weird thing to say, because Robert Whittaker versus Duplessis is next weekend, and whoever wins that might be turning around to fight Adesanya in 2 months. But I think give both of them more time, because they're bigger fights. You know, Sean Strickland versus Israel could be more of a filler fight. You could put Strickland, barely took any damage this fight, took some body shots, Peter Pan kicks as he called it. Don't even know what the fuck that means. But yeah, book Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya for September. let Duplessis and Whittaker rest a bit, the winner of that fight rest a bit, and then the winner of Strickland versus Adesanya turns around 4 months down the track or whatever, gives Robert and Duplessis a bigger break, and then book that fight between who I think will be Robert versus Israel Adesanya, because I don't like this whole thing about Robert turning around 2 months, because he's 0-2. He needs the best chance he can get to win this fight to win it. Like, turn around in 2 months isn't ideal. But you know, the reason I think it's better with Strickland is because we've never seen Strickland's specific style against Israel Adesanya, and even though it might be only a 2-month turnaround, that might be fine for Strickland. We might see a good fight. We might see Strickland test Israel Adesanya. I don't think that would happen. I think Adesanya would have him, but I think that's a more appealing fight for now, and then you can kind of work up Robert and Duplessis for a future match. And the matchup between Strickland and Israel, say Israel wins, it just builds more momentum. Like, oh, did you see what he did to Strickland? Did you see what he did to Strickland? Or did you see what Whittaker did to Duplessis? Like, it just builds it up more and more. And I think that's the way to go. I think Strickland should get a title shot as well. Like, he's beat a few contenders too now. He had a very close fight to Cannonier that he arguably won. Before that, he was on a roll. So I think that's really the only way to go for Strickland. Should he fight somebody else? I don't think so. I don't know who there is to fight. And if he does fight somebody else, it'd have to be a top tier guy. Maybe he could fight the loser of Whittaker versus Duplessis, which in my opinion is going to be Duplessis. Maybe he could fight Duplessis. But on the same side, I just say give him a title shot. It'll be too fun not to give him a title shot. Could you imagine those press conferences and the build up and all that shit? That'd be fucking funny. And I feel like for Israel it's appealing because that's just another name in that division that he's just crossed off the list. Like Strickland, Cannonier, Whittaker, the list just goes on. I think that's a fight to make, and I think that's the way to do it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Good fight today. Strickland with the second round KO. Very impressive. As always, guys, have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas.